If I'm Mikey McCoy, I'm Brian Harpole, Rick Cutler, Dan Flood, I think I run, I don't walk, to an attorney's office this week. And I think I sit down under attorney-client privilege and I say, what do we do? It's time. It's time to drop the hammer on all these trolls. It's time to drop the hammer on Gary Meltdown. It's time to drop the hammer on Lisa Knows Nothing. It's time to drop the hammer on, Mohawk Allen. It's time to drop the hammer on these people because what they're doing, they're just coming to the defense of a political position that they prefer. I'm now convinced there are only two classes of people who believe Tyler Robinson planned and executed Charlie Kirk alone from the Losi Center roof with a granddad's 30-06. There are only two classes of people. One is people who pay no attention. They've been told that on the media. They accepted it and they moved on. They do other stuff. They take their kids to volleyball practice. Maybe they coach a softball league. Maybe they coach their termite league football, peewee football, 5, 6, 8-year-olds playing tackle football. Maybe they have a job where they work 75 hours a week. Unfortunately, in this economy, that's increasingly common. You have a job and then you have a second job and then you run Uber Eats in the evening. And I know a lot of people this way. This is what they do because it's a very expensive economy. It's a very expensive time to be alive. And they just don't have time to investigate the Charlie Kirk assassination. So they hear on Fox News that Tyler Robinson did it and they just accept it. So that's kind of class one. The only other class of people who believe Tyler Robinson solely planned and executed Charlie Kirk from the Losi Center with Granddad's 30-06 are people who politically support TPUSA and our greatest ally. That's it. That's it. Every other person believes there's something wrong with this story. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. But those people who do pay attention, who know better, immediately came to the defense of TPUSA and said, that's not broken glass. That's something else. That we don't know what that is. You guys are just making stuff up. And so I said, you know what? It's time. Go ahead and drop the hammer on them. You're going to be gone for a couple of weeks. That gives everyone 2 weeks to come forward. And then we looked at some pictures. And I saw in one of the pictures a missing piece to the picture I've been holding on to. I saw in one of those pictures a missing piece of the evidence I've been holding on to and have not had permission to share to this point. Only describe, not share. And that was a singed material, a burned piece of material. Because when I have my picture that is available on x.com, you can go look at it. What you see is a piece of Charlie's body that's about this big that is undamaged. And that piece was right here on his body. There's a piece on his body. The corner is to his right nipple, and then it goes back and down a couple of inches and then forward 2 or 3 inches and then back up. And it is plain as day. It looks like there was an adhesive something or something taped to his body in that location, and all around it is damage. It's damage. Skin damage. Is it smeared blood? I don't know what it is, but it is damage. It looks like burns to me. I don't think blood would dry that quickly. Maybe some of it is blood mixed in with some of the other stuff. But it's clear whatever happened here, you have above it a big thing of red. You have behind it a thing of red. It almost looks like a sunburn. And you have below it a thing of red that looks kind of like splotchy sunburn. It looks like burned skin to me. And so I'm going to tell you tonight what I think it was. It's the missing piece that I've not had is what was right there. Was he recovering from some sort of rib injury and had a lidocaine patch? I actually have one of those here. The lidocaine patch. It's fuzzy on one side, slick on the other. This side, if you pull this adhesive off, this plastic sheath on the back, it's sticky and it's got a medicine in it. I've used these on my shoulder. I have a bad shoulder, and I will put these right here. And they will help soothe the shoulder. The skin will absorb that lidocaine. And so I don't know, did he have a broken rib and he had a lidocaine patch right there? But if so, why did they take it off? This had to be taken off while he was under the table. And the reason I say that is because the picture I have, the metadata says it was about 24 to 26 seconds after the Big Bang. If you remember, after the Big Bang, Charlie goes down. Everybody's behind the table and they're doing stuff. Everybody's grabbing. They actually lift Charlie's arm up at one point. No idea what they're doing under there. Arm comes back down. Maybe in the coming days or weeks, we'll go over some of that footage. That arm comes down and then they carry him off. And when they carry him off, his shirt is kind of rolled up here. And they're holding on to that shirt with their hands. They're not supporting his head. His head is dangling at an angle I cannot make my neck do. Like it's kind of like upside down. The image I have shows his face and his head and his neck, and that's why I was asked not to show the picture, because I do think that picture would be traumatic to his family. I genuinely do. He looks dead, and his neck is being held in such a position that I just am shocked, frankly shocked, that these sons of biscuits did not protect his head and neck as they were carrying him off and chucking him into an SUV like a side of beef. I think the biggest takeaway tonight is, if I'm Mikey McCoy, I'm Brian Harpole, Rick Cutler, Dan Flood, I think I run, I don't walk, to an attorney's office this week. And I think I sit down under attorney-client privilege, and I think I explain everything. And I say, what do we do? Because I think they know stuff. I think it's too obvious this doesn't make sense, this story that we've been told. I think you have to sit down with somebody and get independent advice. Now, where do you go? I mean, it looks like this may be a pretty widespread conspiracy that goes all the way to the top of government. So where do you go to be safe? Well, I don't know the answer to that. And maybe you're so convinced that you guys are going to get away with something, whatever it is that happened. I'm assuming something happened. Yeah, not calling you guys murderers. But in the event that is broken glass in the SUV, and in the event there's something that was taped to his side, and that there's tissue damage all around whatever it was that was affixed to the right side of his torso, and it led to the that area of his torso not being damaged while everything around it was. In the event we're right about that, you guys need to go to somebody. One of you has a conscience. We're talking about the death of a human being. The death of a human being. One of you needs to make your way to a lawyer's office and get help, if I'm right. And that help needs to be coming clean with the whole story. Will your life be in danger? Maybe. I mean, it certainly could be. But you know your soul is in danger right now. And what does it profit a man to have the whole world and lose his soul? There's wisdom in those words. There's a lot of wisdom in those words. You guys need to figure this out. One of you needs to come forward, because I can assure you it's not going to get any easier on you from here. Because while the defense may not benefit, the defense of Tyler Robinson may not benefit from us doing this podcasting, it's not going to stop. And there is additional information. It's going to keep coming out. You guys had no idea we would get a hold of all these photos from inside the car. You guys had no idea there were additional photos of Charlie floating around that have not yet been seen, and that there may even be more. You've got low-level police officers that are asking questions. You've got members of the prosecution team that are asking questions. You guys screwed up. It did not work. It didn't work. If I'm right, and there was a conspiracy to kill Charlie Kirk, and I think I am. I don't know for 100% sure. So again, I'm not calling you guys murderers, but if I'm right and you are, then it didn't go as planned. Whatever was supposed to happen didn't happen the way it was supposed to. And it's led to now a 9.5, almost 10-month investigation over the airwaves, over the internet, YouTube, X, Rumble, Spotify, and more. And it's only a matter of time before it makes its way into people who can jam you up pretty bad legally. I'm telling you, I won't say what police department. There are people in different police departments that do not believe the story. There are people in the prosecution office that don't believe the story. There are people in the hospital that don't believe the story. And if you think we're sitting around not investigating anything, you're out of your mind. It's not going to get any better. This is the shot across the bow. This is the warning shot. This is the, hey, you've got a couple weeks before Candace comes back. Now's a good time to figure out your life. Now's a really, really good time to figure out how you want to move forward with this. I'm told from some insiders at TPUSA that there are a couple of employees in particular who are really, really struggling right now with this. And one of those employees who's really struggling with this, listen to your conscience. Don't off yourself. That's not going to solve anything. And there's concern about that with some of these people. Don't go that route. It would be a tragedy an absolute tragedy if some sort of injury befell somebody or some sort of attack on somebody or somebody doing something like that, something permanent and fatal happened. As a result of this investigation, it just compounds tragedy on top of tragedy. Someone's already dead. You can't bring him back, but you can start the process of justice. And so I'm pleading with you, genuinely pleading. Don't be the last one to the courthouse. Don't be the last one to seek advice from a lawyer, because the last one doesn't get a very good deal. The first one that gets a good deal. It's the first one that gets a good deal. Be the first one. Be the first one. Again, just to clarify, I cannot say beyond a reasonable doubt or with certainty that there was any conspiracy that involved any of these people to kill Charlie Kirk. I'm just saying the evidence, as I see it, in my opinion, starts to look like that. And if I'm right about how I read that evidence, one of you needs to be the first one. Don't let Candace come back before something happens, because it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well at all.